What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. Welcome to this edition of Black Friday. I'm your host, Slash, and with me I got comedian 96, K Money, and Freddie G. Together, we the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe, plus follow us on Twitter, 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast. All right, welcome back to Black Friday. We will not be denied. I'm proud to do this show today because for several reasons. For the black community, civil rights movement ended like in 1968, and for some of us, that's only a few years before we were born. And at that time, we were able to get civil rights. So now we're able to vote. We're able to actually be actual citizens in America and get some of the things or do some of the things that's going to help us. Make a better future for our families and stuff like that. So within that amount of time frame, 1968, and here it is, 2024. So roughly you're looking at 60 years or more, close to around 2. And within that time, we've kind of made it to every higher plateau in everything, every form or every fashion. I mean, there is nothing that we haven't shown that we can do better than any other culture. We've made it to the highest office in America, which is the presidency. So we've gotten there. We've sports. We got some of the best sports people. Black American sports.
Yeah, even the ones that we, like golf and tennis.
Golf.
We excel in that now.
The ones that we didn't own.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Yeah.
We didn't do none of that. But then they started the Negro League.
Yep.
Because black folks were good. And you couldn't deny the black man from nothing now.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Here's something interesting about the Negro League. They've merged the stats from the Negro League to the
Major League to make it seem like
so now blacks are actually leading.
Yeah. Oh. Can you imagine with the 400? I call it the 400-year hiccup.
Right.
If that wasn't there, as much as we progress now, even after slavery.
Oh yeah. We'd be much,
if it wasn't no slavery for
we'd
that
be
400,
much further along.
Yeah, we'd be way. I think we would own more. We would have more generational wealth than what we have now.
Because remember, even in those times, we had Black Wall Street.
Yep.
And stuff like that. That these people, other cultures, robbed us for. Burn it down.
Yeah.
Just simply out of hate. And I think what makes us this good in life is because of the hate that we've dealt with. People never wanted to see us with nothing. And that's what makes us strong as black people or as a black community, man. I mean, there's nothing that hasn't been done by the black man or black community. And here's one thing I want to mention. We created what's called hip hop. Hip hop has reached a national level all over the world and have conquered every form of, culture. There is Spanish, English, man, Japanese people.
Let me tell you, I was stationed in Japan for 3 years. And
they
glad
rapping.
You said, no, man, rapping, man, they were playing. This is embarrassing to say. A Japanese person introduced me to Tupac. I didn't know who Tupac was.
Yeah.
They say, back in the day, I was looking younger, you're Tupac the show. They used to tell me I look like Tupac. I didn't know who the hell Tupac was. It was a Japanese girl that showed me who he was. I was like, okay, I can see it a little bit. Not really.
And see, as we got to start appreciating some of this stuff. And I think the only way that we're going to be able to appreciate it is if we talk about it. Our generation, I know we're pretty big on it again because it wasn't long before us when this actually was able to get civil rights and able to vote and abolish racial segregation, because that's what really was holding us back. The segregation because of a color. Why would that be a reason why you don't want me to have nothing? Minus slavery, because we were out of slavery.
Right. Right.
But now that we're out of slavery, we still didn't have rights. So we're trying to figure out what it is we can do because we want to have our rights.
So think about it. After slavery, you still had the residual.
Right.
The people who did that thought you still should be in slavery.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't accepted. You
Right.
know,
So-
after
Jim Crow
slavery.
era.
So
The Jim Crow, exactly.
Yeah. So you gotta fight against those that think you should be in slavery. At the same time, trying to open a business or
Right.
even work. You know. So yeah, for us, man, I'm telling you.
Regardless of the red tape that was put in front of us, you know, we found a way, like you
Right.
said, Slash.
We found it, man.
They can't stop it.
They-
What was the name of the show?
We won't be denied.
We won't be denied.
And I mean, it's the truth in that. Now, I'm not saying that we've made it to eternity to where it's just great, but we doing a damn good job for the amount of time that we've been able to do what we need to do.
That's correct.
And in order for us to further that journey, we got to get these younger generational people to understand what that part was about. But you notice they try to take certain stuff out of the schools now. Now, I'm not sure if Black history is removed from school, but if you remove the Pledge of Allegiance,
Yeah.
then you're probably not talking much about Black history in school.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think it's important for the younger generation to understand where we came from and how soon we were able to get where we are. Because think about it, not if each Black individual lived 60 years, that's enough time for you to make a change for you and your family. You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like this is important because we have time. You as an individual have time. So you can't just sit back and think, oh, well, because I don't have this or I don't have that or I can't get here, I can't get there. No, damn that. You have to be mentally strong enough to say, you know what, is that we got to take certain words out of our vocabulary, like try.
Yes.
Fuck you mean you gonna try? No, I'm serious.
I feel you.
We need to say this is what I'm gonna do,
Right.
Because it's capable of being done. We've shown you this. I mean, Black folks, as of a whole, have shown us that we can do whatever it is we put our mind to. We've conquered it all. You know what I'm saying? We've done everything God wanted us to do. We prevailed like He wanted us to prevail. Because what I believe about God in this situation is that we are the chosen. He chose us to do this because there were other cultures of people who was holding us back. That's hate. That's the devil.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So God didn't sit up here and say, oh, stop that culture of people from doing anything that they need to do in life. That's nothing that God said, you know?
Exactly. And that's what I could never understand. This is about not just whites. I mean,
there's a lot of cultures of people.
Yeah, a lot of people think that they're the only culture that's supposed to go to heaven, or they're the only ones doing right.
Yeah, they
not you know, it could Muslims. I mean, just different groups of people, and it's like, do you honestly think your race was the only one that was supposed to go to heaven? Everybody's supposed to go to hell. Think about it. Everybody else was bad, but your race is fine.
And that's why. But see, let me show you. That was created. The differences in religion was created by a person that wanted to confuse you. There is no difference in religion. There's only one God. It's not 15. You know what I mean? So why would you sit up and tell me, oh, there's a Catholic God, and then there's a Baptist God, there's a Muslim God? That's a goddamn lie.
Exactly.
Tell me the truth. Stop lying to me. And we've seen in the past that people have lied to us about every damn thing. You know, and if we sit there and keep believing what these people tell us, man, we're going to be in trouble. I think we finally figured it out, man. These people been lying. I'm going to tell you one thing that make me say these folks lied about all kind of shit if they lied about this. We came from ape-like creatures. We evolved. Where did we evolve from? Why are we still not evolving? If that's the way the world is supposed to go, why we not still? Why would you tell us this shit?
Why I'm not flying yet? Remember, because we were apes. I supposed to have wings by now.
Well, the only ones that had the wings was the ones in the movie with Michael Jackson and Diana Ross.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What was the name of that?
The Wiz.
The Wiz.
The Wiz.
Okay, they had wings. Was that what they've tried to say or depict? Maybe.
I don't know.
But as a Black culture, man, I mean, we the strongest that I've known, and I've talked to a lot of different people in different cultures and different races, and they all fear us.
Yeah.
They are afraid because guess what they know? It's only been a certain amount of time, and them people that done everything we did. We did this for hundreds of years. They done it in 60.
Yeah, we are definitely a race that can overcome adversity.
Right.
And we've been thrown some of the major curveballs,
All of them.
in history.
All of
and,
them, man.
and us as a people, we've been able to overcome the adversity. Now, I do want to go back just for a hot second on the religion part that you guys mentioned. We all believe that there's a higher power, right?
Right.
But we just differ on how to get to the
How
higher
to get
power.
to him, right?
And so, and that's causing division.
Right.
Now, I want to also share something, man, that my son said to me years ago. And it made me think like, man, you know what? This little cat is thinking. He was young. He was maybe like a freshman in high school or something like that back in the day. He said, Dad, he said, you know, every time an old person die, if they don't share their knowledge, it's like burning down a library.
Right.
Ooh, that's
a lot of
deep.
information.
And how old was he?
Yeah, he was probably like in 9th grade when he told me
So
that.
he had to be
that
about
is
14,
deep.
15 years old.
Yeah, he told me, he said, you know, every time an old person dies, it's like burning down a library. And that resonated with me. Now, I've always been one to talk deep, so to speak, for lack of better words, to him. And so when I heard that, that made me be like, you know what? It made me want to share more, say
Right.
more.
Right.
You know, when I get information, share it with him.
Right.
You know, keep saying more because I don't want to be that old person to die and the library is gone.
Right.
Not just with my sons
Right.
and my daughters, but also with guys that I care about.
Right.
You know, speaking of you guys,
Yeah.
y'all know behind the scene how I talk before we go on
Especially
air.
my ass.
Before we go on air. You know,
Knowledge is power,
yeah,
man.
You gotta
But,
share. You gotta
that's
share
right.
with people that you care
That's
about.
right.
Because man, what I'm gonna do with it?
You can't
If
take
I
it with
die, I
you.
can't take it
You
with
can't
me.
take it with you.
And that's what I think. That's what our culture. A lot of the people in our culture, we don't share the knowledge.
Right.
And now, on the flip side of that, there are people who like to share the knowledge, but there are a lot of people in our culture that's not willing to receive
Receive
There
it.
it is right
Yeah.
the
there.
knowledge.
That's
And
a problem.
And for those individuals who don't like to receive, whether you're male or female,
Right.
and if you're actually listening to this show today, stop having a one-track mind.
Right.
Learn how to open up your mind because there are more point of views than just your point of view.
That's right. And a lot of times when it comes to the difference in point of views, then there's that stage where you have to agree to disagree whether or not you believe what somebody's saying.
Yeah.
But nowadays what's good about this type of situation is there's fact checks now.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's doing a fact check, so you can't just tell me something now and I'm gonna believe it like we evolved from ape-like creatures.
Right.
Have they fact checked that yet?
Yeah.
They're not gonna even go back there because they don't want you to know how they lied to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So what they did was lie to you, and okay, now let's erase the history so we don't have to face the fact that we've been lying to these people all their lives. You know. But again, we strong as a culture, and Freddie G, you mentioned division. Now, what does this say about America? United, we stand. Divided, we fall. So why would you divide us
Right.
and say that America is the best place to be?
We're standing divided,
Right.
and
Well-
we're dying united.
Well,
That's what we're doing.
well, when you hear such rhetoric, man, you got to look at the source of where the negativity or wherever it come from, whether it be a stranger on the street that comes walk up to you and tell
Right.
you something, hey, the sky's blue. I mean, the sky's pink. I mean, you can look up there and clearly see that it's
It's
blue.
right.
You know, so you got to look at the source of where all this what stuff is coming from. And like you said, Slash, I mean, we can fact check this stuff.
Right. Now
know?
you can fact check stuff.
So,
Yeah,
you got to
exactly.
look at the source of where this stuff is coming from, too.
Now that you mentioned that standing, united we stand, divided we fall, it just had me thinking, man. I'm like, if we look at our race, we stand divided until something happens.
Right.
If we stand united, and I've always said this, that gangs such as the Crips, Bloods, BDs, all the ones, if they came together and did positive things instead, I think we would be much, much, much more further than what we are, because those gangs got money.
Yeah,
And if they took their money and did something to help the community instead of, man, do
I
you know
think
how
those things are happening? It's just not happening on a consistent
there
basis.
are
some,
AK Money, right?
but
It's some.
what they consistently kill daily, consistently.
Right.
Well,
Consistently build a community
Now,
and see how far we can
Just
get.
saying they
remember.
are out there. It's just not, consistent with it.
Right. But they consistently kill. If you can consistently build communities up, instead of consistently killing or selling drugs or whatever it is you do, consistently do something positive and see the change in the
I
community.
can remember a show that we did where I mentioned the gangsters or the Crips or Bloods having a seminar with each other,
Right.
talking about what we can do in the communities
Exactly,
now
yeah.
if we come together. That's a perfect start.
Yeah, make CRIP stand for what it stands for: community resistance in progress.
And
be that.
and what we
you
need
were
to do-
supposed to be.
And what we need to do, because we not gang members,
Yeah.
is take that same thing that they doing, because we got plenty sense, and do it. You know what I'm saying? Stand together on something, and we need to stop waiting until something happens,
Right. Cause
for us to stand together on something. Because we don't stand together enough, and I think that's the thing that's going to take us over.
we stand together when something happened or on the wrong thing. And
Yeah.
I think, and we march, recent marching, boy, we didn't march.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
But what we have to understand is the marching is not what's going to get us there.
Exactly.
That's a start. But what after this march? What are we going to do after we march?
That's the thing right there. Like you
Exactly.
say, we'll get out there and march, but then what's going on after we
After
do
that
march?
march, you
Yeah,
don't
what
hear
do we do?
nothing else.
You know, that it's got to be some form or some types of steps that we have in place to say, okay, after we do this march, okay, the month after that, on this date, this is what we need to do. The month after that, on this date, this is what we need, which is what made Martin Luther King Jr. a perfect person to stand behind and leadership of the civil rights movement.
That's what I was going to.
Great person.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because actually, man, we do have a blueprint. We have a blueprint. Marching is good because if you're marching, that means you've gathered people and got them together.
Right.
You got them together. That's the first
Martin
step.
Luther King gathered a lot. You have your march on Washington and several other marches, Selma, Alabama,
Selma.
and all of these other marches. Right now, they were trying to. Now we know why they were marching.
Right.
To gain their civil rights for us too.
For us, right.
And we wasn't even born.
We wasn't even born.
Now, what you do after the march? We go and vote. We
Right.
want the rights to vote.
Right.
We want to be able to have, be able to sit at your counters to
Right.
eat.
Right.
We want to be able to go to your schools.
Right.
We want to be treated equally.
Equally.
So there is a plan in place and there is a blueprint. Now, once we march, for whatever reason we're marching for, we don't have to be treated equal. We don't have to ask for you to treat us equally in your schools because we do have access to your schools.
Right.
We have that already. So now let's go and find out what it is about the schools that we need to get more of.
Right.
To get more out of.
Yep.
You know, we don't have to ask hey, we want to come through the front door instead of
Right.
going through the back door.
Right.
We don't have to ask that no
Right.
more.
Right.
But now that we're able to go through the front door, okay, what it is that we can do while we're in here now.
Right.
So we got the blueprint. We're just not following the blueprint.
Yeah, we need to be more active when it comes to certain stuff like the next steps to do. We need to be more active. We got to stop pushing it off to the side, because what I notice of us as a culture of people, we will procrastinate until there is no more time to procrastinate.
Yep.
We'll wait till the last minute to do certain stuff. I think that's one of the issues we probably need to fix. I think we need to have our own way to it should be some sort of way, if it's not just a network, a radio station, or social media, where everybody can come and feel comfortable with saying the issues that they have, and let's try to figure out how we can work together on changing it or making a better situation. And not just for your household, but for everybody's household, because that's what's not the stuff that Martin Luther King them was doing. They're not doing that today. They feel like we've gotten to a certain place, and so everybody's following this same little form and format. But we need something else. The world is changing.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something, man. We have more millionaires today than we've had back than Martin Luther King era had back then. Yeah. Now a lot of times, man, you got these people with these millions, whether you're rappers, whether you're actors. Now I don't know what they do with their funds and their money to put toward any kind of social justice or anything like that.
Right.
But the money is there. The money is there, and so some kind of way they need to. I can't tell a person what to do with their money,
right?
But at least come together in some kind of way to use your platform and your voice,
right,
to speak louder,
to make a change.
There are some artists
that does it. That's true.
That do it, but we need more.
Yeah,
we need to do it. Yes. We need more to do it.
Yes,
like case in point. I wish at the height of his career, Michael Jordan would have said more.
Yeah.
Yeah, a public figure like that.
I wish he would have said more. Yeah.
I wish he had been more acceptive of the black community.
Do you guys think we as a culture have gotten content with how things are?
I do think so. I think so.
Too comfortable, yeah.
I think we've gotten comfortable.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's good.
And that's why I feel like we haven't reached that point where we need to be yet, because
that's the problem, because we shouldn't be content.
We shouldn't be content.
Yeah.
We need to still have something going on, because there's still going to be young black adults that don't understand what we went through. And if we're not the ones that's keeping it out there, it'll be forgotten for real. So I'm not blaming another culture for our cultures or our races, things that we've done not being known. I can't blame another culture for that. We got to blame ourselves. We know what we did. We know what it took to get here. We know what it's going to take to keep us here. Because what if we just stop and we are content, and then all of a sudden we become the minority again? And it won't be long before that happens.
Hey, knock on wood. Because we got a very important election going on right now that can definitely change the face of how America looks.
And that's why this is important. Because now we have another, black person running in office, and let me make a correction. She's mixed, Indian and black. I don't want to just say black. Because
when did she claim black? Because I remember she was Indian with the cooking show.
Her dad is black.
With the cooking show. She claimed to be Indian with the cooking show with the girl from the cooking show.
She's a person of color.
Okay.
Number one.
Yeah.
And number two, she is black. But if she says that she's Indian, she has some Indian blood.
Her mom is Indian.
Her blood is Indian as well. Now, are you familiar with the one drop of blood rule?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, there's a rule.
The only thing I've seen with the show, I'm just saying the show.
If you have one drop of black blood in you,
you're black.
You're black.
Black takes over. Period.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know. Should have had that on my show.
But if we never want to go back to the civil rights era, fighting for rights and stuff again, now is the time for us to say, you know what? We need to go on, nip this shit in the bud, get the right people in office, that support our views and what we need as a culture, so that we can better our lives and the lives of our grandchildren, their kids, and so on. But I don't think we're going to be able to do it if we stay stagnant, thinking, hey, we've already made it, we've gotten there, and we in a good place. I'm excited, proud to say the stuff that I'm saying here today and what we've made it through.
We've come a long way.
But we're not done yet.
Yes, we're not.
We still have so far to go, and there's a lot of people that talked about it. And, there's books we can read. It's a lot of stuff. It's movies you can go and watch. There's documentaries. It's a lot of stuff that we can do, which brings me to my black fact. Amiri Baraka is my black fact for this Friday. Now, Amiri Baraka was born in 1934. He died in January of 2014. He was a poet, writer, and political activist. He used his writing as a weapon against racism and became one of the most widely published African-American writers, known for his social criticism and style. So he would explore the anger of Black Americans and advocate scientific socialism, often confrontational and designed to awaken audiences to the political needs of the Black Americans. He was a prominent voice in American literature. So shout out to Amiri Baraka and his family. I want y'all to come back Monday. Check me out for Music Monday. So that's going to do it for this episode of Black Friday. Hit that like button and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. On Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast. Check us out on Monday for Music Mondays. See y'all then.